Alright, I'm going to do a few videos sort of in service of making wraps, which I don't usually do, but it's something that people have asked me to share. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually show you how I cut wrap fabric when I'm going to make a long wrap into a sling and a short wrap. Because that's something I have printed directions for, but I think a lot of people are looking for videos now, so I'm going to do some of that. I've got just a scrap piece of Easy Care Rainbow #1 here. And this is what I do for pretty much every woven fabric that I work with, and it's pretty much just woven fabrics that I work with. So first thing we're going to do is measure very carefully. Obviously, since this is a scrap, it's not something I need to do, but when you're measuring for a sling, you only get the chance to cut once. So as they say in woodworking, measure twice, cut once. I tend to measure way more than that if I'm working with someone else's wrap, especially if it's expensive. And then eventually you just have to say, okay, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna make this cut. So you're just gonna make a little snip on the edge. And this works for most fabrics. There are a few wrap companies where this doesn't work very well because the weft threads are a little bit more brittle than others, but for the majority of them this will work. So I don't know if you saw what I've done here. I've just teased out a couple of the threads from the edge here, and then I'm just going to start pulling, and you see the fabric sort of gathers up along that edge, and I did break one. That happens pretty often. You can see I've already got a pretty good line there, and I could just cut that and keep going if I wanted to. I'm probably not going to get one that goes all the way across. You almost never do unless it's a very strong weft like hemp or linen, and this is 100% cotton. So anyway, I can kind of see where I'm going at least. So I'm just going to start cutting along that line. You don't have to go fast. You can go as slowly as you want to. And then when I get to a place where I no longer have that clear line, I can tease out the thread that broke, or you can usually tease out another one, and just working it over to the edge. If you make it all the way to the edge, see where it comes into the hem there, I can make another little snip. Sometimes it helps to cut a little bit around that too, and then just pull it all the way through, and that way you can cut all the way across now. If you have a particularly close weave, it may be hard to do this with just one pull. You may need to take 2 or 3 weft threads. Also, some wraps have a jacquard weave, which means that the pattern is kind of flipped on each side. If it's a 2-color wrap, you may need to flip the fabric over so you can see the thread that you've pulled. But anyway, that makes a nice clean cut, and that's a good starting point for making a sling, for shortening something, for cutting off a ragged edge. I frequently get ragged edges that I have to recut, and that's what I will do. So the next video that I'm going to do is on a flat felled seam, and that would be for joining 2 pieces together. So I'll do that now.